Hello folks, I'm SG, and this is Barbie, and as you can see I'm drawing Barbie. What you're actually watching is a meticulous drawing exercise. I'm studying this image very carefully by way of this simple trick we can all do in the digital realm at any time. Now, I'm not going to fuss about the details in this video. Suffice it to say, you can see the secrets whisked away by the process of this time-lapsed version in my live streams, but you may notice the drawing is bouncing around, and there's a reason for that. And I made a video about this already, and it goes like this.
So Clip Studio Paint has a capture function, but it doesn't accurately record everything, and you're kind of missing the key to this exercise. I'm actually moving the drawing back and forth over Sam's drawing to check whether or not I've placed each line correctly. One line at a time. Here's another time I employed this method. I think you can see it a little better here. I'm basically tracing the image, but I don't draw a single line on top of the image. I'm drawing next to the image and then moving the drawing back to check my accuracy. The trick is to match the image, to make it look like I traced it. Not for the sake of copying the image though, but for the sake of learning to draw what I see with my own eyes. Every time I nail a line, even if it takes 5 or 6 attempts, I become more and more confident. And when I do get one on the first try, which starts to happen over and over, it's like a fun game. Now the time-lapse makes this look exciting, but the reality is that it's exceedingly tedious. Or is it satisfyingly peaceful?
Do you get frustrated when a single line is not in the correct place, even though the rest of the drawing looks
single
perfect?
line. What? Come on.
So that happens to me a lot.
I get so frustrated. I don't usually get that frustrated while drawing. It's meditation. I'm having fun. If there's a challenge, if I'm dealing with a problem, it's actually kind of fun.
For example, what I'm doing is not that different from using the old grid method, where you put a grid over your subject and map each quadrant to a new grid, thereby breaking the process down into little pieces that add up to a whole. This method is no shortcut to success either. It does take a lot of effort until you gain a lot of experience. When you do develop your observation skills, this grid method can be used as a shortcut, but you have to build your skill set and then use shortcuts. You don't find magic shortcuts that build skill. So this drawing of mine, this study of Sam's work, is practically a tracing, except I didn't trace a single line. I drew every line while it was over here, and then checked it, and check and redraw, and check and redraw, and check and redraw. And as I said, often enough I would nail it on the first try, and that's when I know my observation skills were improving.
So this exercise is a no-brainer in the digital world, and I can tell you it's worked for me. I do this a lot now, and here's another one. I started out just trying to draw this puppet, but this puppet is so lovely I was compelled to study it really carefully, and so that means it's time for the old back and forth routine and some nice meditation. The hair was terribly difficult for me because I don't do hair. I don't draw like this. Hardly. Well, I do now. This method, if you want to call it that, is yielding massive results. Suddenly, I can figure out how to make hair look pretty good. And by the way, Santa up there was not done this way. I just copied that straight up. And that's a demonstration that I am learning to draw really well, and it's happening very fast because it actually is all about slowing down. It's not possible to show you the nitty-gritties of this technique and the impressive results in a short time. This takes a lot of time and a lot of discipline. Again, the Santa puppet wasn't done this way, and if my just saying so isn't enough, how about this? I decided to draw a flower, something I've never bothered to draw before. Flowers aren't easy to draw, so why draw them, right? So it all starts with spending some time with the image that you want to study, and this is the last of 2 or 3 sketches that I made, and now I'm going to go for another one, and I'm feeling pretty good about it, and off I go. And I even made this a little bigger than the photo just to show that I'm not pseudo-tracing it. Again, the point here is that I'm drawing my socks off over here, and the pseudo-tracing method is what I'm doing in my head now instead of on the tablet. One way or another, this is basically the skill you're going to have to develop in order to draw well. So then I posted this to Instagram, and then I fooled around with gradient maps. Now, I've never used gradient maps before, and if you're not familiar with gradient maps, just know that they are very useful if you're good at rendering values, and I think I just proved to myself that I'm getting pretty good at rendering values and just illustrating in general, so I made a video about it. Now, I guess I'm gonna render this Barbie doll, so if you want to see that and more stuff like this, you know what to do.